Okay, so what we have here is a list of forecasted sales for next year, let's just say. All right, and what this all means is that we have our different sales reps over here that are forecasting sales to certain customers. In other words, when we look at each of these different reps and we look at the customer, Jagger is pretty much saying that he's hoping to sell legal type services to Alfred's sometime next year in late November, or I'm sorry, later in the year in November. And he's looking to make about $144,000 in the sale, and the probability, and this is key, the probability of him making the sale is about 45%. So if we did like a weighted forecasted amount, we'd end up with this one here of about 64. All right, and the way it kind of works, the way it plays out in the real world, if you can get your people to come up with accurate forecasts with accurate probabilities, you could almost be rest assured at minimum that you will end up with the total of the weighted forecast, if not more. All right, I mean, that's just my understanding of it from the business world that I've been dealing with for almost 40 years. So this is the kind of thing that the sales manager will get his sales reps to figure out what they're going to be doing for the following year so they can, plan things. This is how you get, when you listen to maybe the stock reports and they'll say, oh yeah, such and such company, they did really well, this quarter. And you say, great, my stock price is going to go up. And then they say, but the forward guidance is lower. Well, where's that forward guidance coming from? Are they just pulling that out of thin air? No, they're getting their forecast from their reps, from their managers, and they're putting it all together, and that's how they're coming up with that. Or it might be that the company says, oh yeah, we did really bad this quarter, but our forward guidance is way up there because we're making all these wonderful improvements, blah, blah, blah. And of course then the stock, even though it reported low for the quarter, ends up going up because of the forward guidance. So anyways, that's how it all plays out. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, what we want to do, though, and I hate to spring this on you, I'm going to show you again how to work with this using slicers, but the slicer is kind of a secondary thing here. I want to show you how you can put totals in the bottom of each of some of these columns here, so that later on when you do apply a slicer to a particular field and you choose certain items in that field, that you'll see this, collapse. In other words, it'll just start displaying only what the filter or the slicer filter told it. But then at the bottom, you'll see the ever-changing total of what now is being displayed. So if like a fifth of this ends up being displayed, you'll see at the bottom the total of weighted, the total of forecasted, and maybe a count of how many we have. How many rows we have for that. All right. So here's how we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead, again, I know you've gone through like 2 of these already. We're going to go ahead and we're going to convert this into a table. So we're going to hit Insert, hit Table, hit OK. It's a table, right? Now, if we go to the very bottom of it, all right, you'll see that we got our last company there and all that. Now, while we're in the table, well, if you're clicked anywhere in the table, you'll get the Table Tools Design come up. And one of the choices in there is something called a total row for the options here. If you put a check mark in there, you'll get this total row pop up, right? It defaults to whatever the last column is. And in this case, if you click onto that spot there where it says 90 and hit the drop down arrow, it's giving us a count. So it's basically just counting how many rows there are. Basically, it's counting how many cells in this column have something in them. Well, they're all going to have something in them. So therefore, right now, with no filtering or anything, we've got 90. Okay? So we can go to this one here, hit the drop-down arrow, and tell, okay, we want that to be a sum. Okay? We want this one over here to be a sum. We don't have that much to do, so that's about all that much we can do there. So that looks pretty good, all right? I mean, if you wanted to go here and maybe do an average, that might be kind of interesting, so we could do that. There's your average, okay? So there we go, all right? So that's in place. Now, the rest of it's going to be what we've already done. So while we're on it, we're going to go back into Table Tools Design, and we'll go ahead and go to our slicer area. And we'll tell it that we want to maybe do slicers. We'll do maybe the category. We'll do the sales rep. And we'll do the win. We'll just do those three. Oh, maybe region too. So we'll do those four. Okay, so we hit OK on that. There they all are. Now, because the dates are all the first of the month, whether it's November, September, I mean, we can't expect the rep to say, oh yeah, June 18th, I'm expecting to make that sale. I mean, we're lucky enough to get a month pinned down rather than than that. So the deal here is that because they're all just the first, the slicer does kind of like a summary of that and basically gives us 12 items in here. So we can actually maybe go in here, make that, 2 columns, and there we go there, see? So now you got January, February, March, April, May, June, all right? We can put the rep underneath that. We can make that a couple columns. Well, we'll just leave it like that, it's fine. We know the rep by their name. And then we'll go ahead or by their number, I should say. And then we've got this here, and we'll put that, bring that down a little bit here. We'll bring this here too while we're at it. All right, bring that there. I'm not spending a lot of time getting this all purdy here, okay? But you get the idea. So now, if I'm a manager, I'm sitting there saying, okay, I'm looking at such and such sales rep. So this guy right here, click on that. This is Seguzi. I click onto it. There's all Seguzi. So I can look at this and say, okay, here's Seguzi's sales or hopeful sales, right? And what's really neat is it'll show if he made every one of those sales almost $1 million. Weighted though is 589,000, average of 64. So pretty neat. And he's got 6 sales. So me as a manager, I might say, well, that's pretty good because usually the average is maybe about 4 sales. He's or she's up to like 6. Cool. All right, that looks good. Now I can click on somebody else. Click on this guy here. Or better yet, I can even go and hold down the control key and click on somebody else as well. So maybe these are the 2 people, Suyama and Zollers, that are under me. And I'm looking at now their numbers, how many, their forecast, their probability. So very neat stuff. And again, I can go back to the filter, clear it, and I'm back to seeing everybody. So I just wanted to show that to you regarding the tables because it's a good little tool there to be able to do those calculations. And as it's getting filtered, it's only giving you the calculations for what's being seen. So it's pretty much like doing the subtotals that we had done earlier, where it would just show the total of what's being displayed and not the hidden stuff, right? So same kind of thing here. So very good. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you can use some of this information. Take care.